this thing. All right.
That was so fun.
Good morning.
Good morning, you guys, and happy taco,
Tuesday.
torta, taquito, tamale, tomato, tortilla, tajín,
Tuesday.
tablespoon Tuesday.
Where's the tablespoon?
I don't know. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So today's Q&A day, so why don't we just get right to it?
Hi, Susanna and Katie and Jeanette and Lauren and Tiffany.
Susanna, it looks like your schedule is back on track. It's nice to see you here. I want you to know. Candace.
And
Jerry, that's a new name. Drop a comment. Tell us where you're from. Nikki Johnson in the
Molly's
house.
in the house. Candace Wade is up in her.
I love it. I love it.
Her.
And if you're here and we haven't called your name, it's because we can't see you. You probably have some privacy features.
So drop some heat up in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tell us, what's your favorite taco? In the spirit of Taco Tuesday.
I like a good old chicken taco. Some pico and some cilantro.
Bremen, Oklahoma. I like it. Was that a burp or a clap? Or both?
I clapped and then I burped.
All right.
All right. So,
All right. Let's
question
answer some
number
questions.
one. I really love Q&A day. Okay. Question number one is coming from Regina Fisher. All the way from, how do you say that?
Camp Broadsteel, Kosovo. I can only assume that you're in the military, so thank you so much for your service.
Yeah, if that's the case. The question is, what are some snacky foods that curb the constant munchies / hunger? I'm working out and eating fairly healthy. It's army food. Healthy is challenging, but I'm hungry all the time. Mirror says, clearly I'm not starving. I apologize if I missed the topic you guys covered already.
Oh,
All right. So the question is basically, what are some healthy, snacky foods that curb constant like munchy feelings and hunger when you feel like you have weight that you could lose, but somehow you're still hungry?
For one, I wanna bring up a point. I don't know if you guys have ever seen army food, but if we are training, right, you know, all these incredible humans to protect our nation, and like I just want you to think about how backwards society is and how things are misaligned, because millions of dollars, of course, are being spent on technology, planes, you know, weapons, all these tools, right, that make the U.S. military like one of the best militaries in the world, right? However, right, so like you spend all this money on things and logistics, which of course makes sense. However, but if you also go out of your way to develop all these humans, right, but like you don't take into account what they put in their body when their body is their machine.
Basically,
it makes you think better, right? Become more efficient in whatever it is that you do. Like it blows my mind.
Basically, what she's saying is like, we're training these people to protect and defend our country, but feeding them garbage. So they're not actually performing as optimal as they could be.
Not even close.
That's a side note.
Right. And that's why, Regina, what you said, when you look in the mirror, like it looks like you're not hungry when deep down you are. So this is a note for everybody, you guys. If you're like, I look like I'm not hungry, right, or starving whatsoever, but I feel hungry all the time, And we see that with a lot of people who want to lose weight. As a matter of fact, it's like you're like, I'm not even trying to eat a lot. Like I'm looking this way. It's because here's the problem, right? Your diet is not based off of nutrient dense foods. That's it. So your diet, and so basically what that tells me is that your diet has a lot of, poor
Processed.
nutrients and processed foods in it. And that's literally what the military gives soldiers, and it drives me nuts.
This is such a good question, because a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm hungry, but I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm hungry. And how can you expect to stay on track with your nutrition if you're always feeling hungry? So then when you eat and then you start gaining weight back, but you're like, shit, man, I'm trying, but I'm just so hungry. How are you supposed to fight that? You have to focus on the quality of your food.
Yeah.
What is the quality that you're consuming, and in what proportions of nutrients are you consuming? Are you consuming a lot of micronutrients like vegetables, or are you consuming a lot of empty calories like chips? Because there's a massive difference in the amount of hunger that you're going to experience or not experience. The other thing with hunger is that it could be your metabolism is speeding up. However, in this case, in most cases, I don't believe that is the issue.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It could be, but if you're already lean-ish, or you've already lost a bit of weight, and you know that you're eating nutrient-dense food, and you've got balance and harmony between your meals and your weeks, and you're still hungry, that's when we can be looking at a metabolism thing. But in this case, step number 1 is to increase the quality of your foods and the amount of vegetables, clean vegetables, that you're intaking.
So now, in your case, Regina, it seems as if already in the situation that you're in, a lot is outside of your control, right? So take this with a grain of salt, and let's say if you are being given options, I really hope that you do, because in some cases you're not even given options and just fucking sucks, right? I would say choose to go for more nutrient-dense foods if you do have that choice. If not, let's make sure that your snacks per se are nutrient-dense. So for one, if you're in Kosovo, that tells me that you're in Russia. If you guys are in our community, you know that when it comes to snacks, an incredible snacky treat that's better for you. It's not the greatest, but a better for you snack is the Kirkland bars. We're big fans of the Kirkland bars. However, I can only help but to assume that they don't have Costco in Russia, and you're in a base camp. So,
you can get Kirkland bar for anybody who can access Kirkland bars. You can get them at Costco, at Costco.com, or on Amazon.
Yeah.
So as long as Amazon delivers to you, you can have access to them.
However, Regina, I would recommend that, if you can, go to the grocery store, get some cans of tuna, some fruit, and some raw nuts. That'll be amazing for you. Okay, so if you are looking for...
What about veggie options that she could get?
Yeah, I'm just not sure if she has access to a fridge.
Organifi.
But yeah, and then she's out of the US though. She's outside of the US. And that's what I'm saying, fruit, apples, you can keep it outside of the fridge for 2 weeks, right? Or oranges.
Jerry, Kirkland bars are only the most amazing protein bar. If you've ever heard of a Quest bar, it's like the nutrient breakdown of a Quest bar, but with better ingredients and better texture, in my opinion.
And better flavor too. It's not as hard. I would recommend for you, Regina, considering the adversities, get canned tuna, a couple packs of that, right? Because you can find that anywhere in the world. Get some raw nuts, you can find that anywhere in the world, and get some fruit, whatever is available that's not perishable, and have that around, right?
Or some jerky.
I don't know if they have jerky in Russia, that's what I'm saying.
No.
But tuna, nuts, and fruit, I can guarantee you can find anywhere in the world. Okay, so stick to the basics.
Yeah, and I'll drop a link to those Kirkland bars too. I saw that Jeanette put it here, but I'll put one up on the post. I'll put one up on the page as well. Okay, next question.
We hope that helps, Regina.
And anybody else. Next question is from Amanda Mayer. I hope I'm saying that right. In Delaware. Is it better to do more modified exercises or less modified exercises? For example, with push-ups. I've been doing knee push-ups and I'm definitely getting better at them. Should I continue to do knee push-ups until it's easy, or should I switch to regular and just do less of them? Should I be switching and when I get tired?
That's a good question.
That is a good
for
question.
A lot of people.
That is a good question.
And do you want to answer that?
Yeah. I mean, so first thing I would say is if you're doing the whatever progression you're doing, so it sounds like you're starting with knee push-ups, and that's great. I would say it depends on the number of push-ups that you're doing. Let's just put down some numbers for targets so that you can just have a very clear, when do I go to regular push-ups and when do I go back down if I need to? Do I do more? Do I do less? Whatnot. The next best progression, if you want to get good at push-ups from your feet and your hands, like full push-ups, the best way to start is to do the negative part of the push-up. So I would do a combination of, or if I were coaching somebody live, I would do a combination of both of them. So if you feel like they're kind of getting easier, but you're still not ready fully to go to like full push-ups, start from a full push-up position, lower yourself down to the floor with control, drop your knees, press up. Lift your knees. So maybe I can give an example. Boogie, you want to help me? Boogie, you want to
Maybe
help?
Q&A days need to be at the gym.
Okay, we're going to do this. Maybe. Can we see?
Yeah.
Great. So I would start from here.
So I count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 as you're going down. Okay, I wanna add something for the first part of the question. Is it better to do? Is it better to do more modified exercises or less modified exercises? So here's the thing about modifications. You always need to modify to the best of your abilities, right? When it comes to programming of any kind that we do, we program for the most advanced and we modify for the rest, right? Because here's the thing, you can always with the movements that we do, you can always modify, right? However, progressing up, it's a different story. And we want to make sure that we're able to help everybody. So, we progress for the best and we modify for the rest.
Yeah, and I think I subconsciously ditched that part of the question, and I shouldn't have.
Right.
But it's because it's all relative. It just depends on the person. Now, modify is when you take one movement that's supposed to be done one way and you do it a different way. Yeah. You've modified it, right? Yeah. So it's not necessarily good or bad that you modified. It could be good that you modified. It could be not good that you modified. So the amount of modifications you use, I wouldn't even use that as a gauge. Yeah. It's more a matter of what progression do I need to use that's best for me. And the bottom line and the golden rule is it should be challenging but doable. If it's challenging, you'll get better. But if it's not doable, you can't even do it, right? So challenging but doable, always. So then the next part of that too is, you can just, if you want to get better at push-ups, you can just put yourself on some kind of like daily something that's going to help you progress to getting better at push-ups.
The reality is that we would love it if you could give us a little bit more detail with regards to where you're at, because modifications have to be measured. So here's my standard. If you can do 20 push-ups unbroken in one set from your knees, then you're ready to progress up. Until then, you leave your ego at the door and stick to the modified version. right? When you progress up, you can either do whatever Erin did, like work with a negative, or you can just do an incline push-up. What I mean by that is we raise the ground up, so you don't have to go as far down.
So you're doing push-ups, let's say,
like to a bench or something.
With your feet
with
on the
your
floor,
feet on the
not
ground.
your knees.
So you're not going all the way down to the ground, but you're going full range of motion with increased levers, right?
That's it.
So you will be the one to answer that, because only you can test these numbers. We don't have these numbers right now. However,
that's why I said I wanted to give numbers. You gave a really great one. You said if you can do 20 unbroken push-ups from your knees, start progressing.
Yes. Until then, work on getting 20 unbroken.
And always focus on quality over quantity with those.
Yep.
Right? Don't try to progress if it looks and feels shitty.
Yep. Never ever.
Okay.
New Zealand.
Yeah, we have a question from New Zealand. Okay, maybe like one or two more, just depending. Okay, so Emma from New Zealand says, I'm gluten. I read this yesterday and I was like, ooh. I'm gluten, dairy, and want to be meat-free. Do you have a meal plan for those restrictions? My first question is, what the fuck are you going to eat?
Well,
I mean,
there's a lot.
That's basically...
But my question to
vegetarian or pescatarian.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot that you can
right.
eat. There's a lot that you can eat.
But it sounds funny when you read it.
My question to you is, why? Why? Is that because you were told to? Or...
Well, let's answer.
Is it because you're gluten and dairy intolerant?
We'll answer her question. Yes, we do work with people who have specific dietary preferences. Mm-hmm. There's always a way around that. Yes, but our question is why and what's the intention?
Yeah, and what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve?
Let's say in the case that she heard that it was bad to eat meat and dairy causes inflammation and so does gluten, so she doesn't want to eat them. What would you say?
It's all based, like, everybody's different. Everybody's different.
So I'm going to say the only reason that I will not challenge somebody who says they don't eat meat is for moral reason or ethical reasons. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I cannot argue with you. 100%. That's your choice, whatever. If you say it's because meat is not good for you or meat harms you, we can have a discussion about that. You probably watched the movie Game Changers, which... No words. So... Yeah, as far as dairy and gluten go, if you have celiacs, you can't eat gluten. You're going to shit your pants.
Right.
But for a lot of people, it's just things that we've heard. If it's just things that you've heard but haven't experienced, don't believe it. You have to feel it.
Yeah, Janice, it's totally doable. And
Emma. Janice.
And being all of that is like gluten-free, dairy-free, and meat-free. Of course it's doable. But the question is, what is your reasoning behind it? And here's why I'm asking you that. Because if your reasoning is because this is something that I heard, you're following a trend, which means you're being led by your ego. If you're being led by your ego...
No. You're being just misled by the industry.
Right. But you're letting your ego lead you to that decision.
How?
Now you're in what?
There's like stuff all over online that's like That's like, hey, do this. That doesn't mean that like it's my ego. It just means that I'm believing whatever I'm hearing.
But here's the thing. If you ever make decisions like that before finding like within yourself, right, after doing blood work, right, and checking out whether this is the truth for you, it's not going to be sustainable for you, right? So like, for one, if you're like, okay, I'm gluten intolerant, I'm dairy intolerant, and I'm all about saving the planet. Cool, do it. Now, the reason why you're going to follow through with it is because, for one, you know, if your body cannot tolerate it, then it's not in alignment with your body. You're not going to try to eat it. It's going to make you sick. And if you're choosing to not eat meat because, you know, you're all about, you know, saving animals, then you took it outside of yourself. It's no longer about you. Now, and this is why I'm saying it's ego-based. Because if you're listening to mainstream media, don't do this, don't do that, right? And you choose to believe it because you read it somewhere, right? At some point in time, you're not going to have a big enough why to resist it, and therefore it's not going to be sustainable. See where I'm going with that? So you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And from there, you'll be able to find the answer. Do we have a meal plan? We don't have a meal plan. Can we direct you as far as that goes? Absolutely. The reason why we don't give out a meal plan is because meal plans are not sustainable.
Meal plan meaning we tell you what to eat, when to eat, how many times a day to eat, what has to be in those meals. We don't do meal plans because if a meal plan worked and that's your expectation is that you're going to get a meal plan, this is a really great topic for anybody who listens who does the Badass Fit Body Nutrition Program. If you expect when somebody says nutrition plan for them to give you a meal plan, that means that somebody in the past had to have given you a meal plan. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that expectation. Now, the second part of that is if that meal plan worked, you wouldn't even be coming to us. So if you expect us to give you the same thing that already hasn't worked for you in the past, something's misaligned. We will never give you a meal plan and say, this is what you have to eat. You should have the freedom as an adult to choose what you eat, but with guidance as to what proportions of what types so that you have guidelines and you have structure, right? And you have boundaries. Otherwise, I mean, nobody should be telling you, you have to eat for breakfast, you have to eat 1 egg with a piece of toast and whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't like that. So
what happens if you go to a hotel, right, and they don't have a toast? What are you gonna do? Excuse me, can I get a toast, please? We don't have a toast.
Oh, meal plan.
What are you gonna do?
Meal plan.
You're now gonna shit the bed.
You're gonna rip it up.
Right. So this is about providing you the right information to give you the tools so that you can make the right choices, because life is full of ebb and flows. No Monday ever looks the same. I want you to think about the last 2 Tuesdays. Last Tuesday and the Tuesday before that. Were they the same? Absolutely not. So what makes you think that the way that you eat needs to be like that all the time? However, I can understand why you may consider that, because this is what most people have been taught. Right? Ground turkey, sweet potatoes, and string beans.
Chicken breast,
broccoli, rice, and broccoli. Come on! And that's why.
Who has eaten a meal consisting of the following? Either green beans or broccoli with either ground turkey or chicken breast and either brown rice or sweet potato. 2 variations of carbs, 2 variations of a protein, and 2 variations of a vegetable in combination. Say I. I could say I like a gazillion times.
Yep.
Who else say boring AF? Okay, next question.
Yeah.
We can do, I think, one more. One more question. Okay.
How many more questions were there for today?
That is, I believe, irrelevant because the questions keep going.
Oh, got it.
So, ooh.
Wow, you're getting people from all around the world. We got
this is our dance queen. This is the dancing queen. This
Girl,
is
I love you.
Mary, how do you say her last name? Modeste?
Mary Jose Modeste.
That's what we're going to say. From Montreal in Canada. Okay, so question. First, thank you both for opening yourselves. That's so sweet. Building this great community now. I'm not sure if anybody has asked this. Okay, what is the next step after you feel that you've been stagnant in your weight loss for 3 weeks? Is it I find that interesting because I'm pretty sure she's been in our community and she did the 14 days, probably ended it about 3 weeks ago. Okay, so.
Is she in the burn zone?
No.
She needs to get
We've talked about it. You need to tell her because I told
you. You need to get on the burn zone.
Okay, so is a nutrition review due? Would I need to up my cardiovascular activity by 10 to 20% if it's a 66, 5 days of training? I feel that if I lower down my food, I'll be hungry.
Okay, all right. So
it's a great question.
This is a great question. So Mary, a couple of things. For one, you need to get your hands on the burn zone, and I will tell you why. Tammy, if you're listening, if you can please do us a favor, drop the link. That'll be amazing. So drop a comment, give us like a high five or your favorite emoji if you've done the Rise Above program. Now, I want you guys to answer this because this is not about us, this is about you. There is a reason, a rhyme and a reason for every single thing that we do for each and every one of you guys. So with the Rise Above program, what did you notice about the workouts? Were they the same workouts every single day or did they always change?
Did you ever do the same workout?
Did you ever do the same workout in those 14 days?
Okay, great.
And the answer is no. Right? Every day looks different.
I'm on day 13. Yay, Jerry, 1 to go, baby.
That's amazing. Jerry, you need to get your hands on the burn zone too. Here's the thing.
The burn zone 1. The burn zone also next.
Yes.
Because there is a burn zone 2.
Right. Oh, sure. So here's the thing. When it comes to your workouts, they have to be constantly varied. And here's why. Your body is such an incredible machine and it's been trained to adapt because adapting helps us to survive. Therefore, if you do the same workout over and over again, you're not going to see any changes. And that's why if somebody does cardio, like starts their training journey just doing, cardio for the first month, they're like, oh, I'm losing weight. And then they're like, what do I need to do? And then their trainer is like, you need to go down from 1,500 calories to 1,200 calories, right? So now they think that what they need to do is eat less and less and less. And here's where the problem is that people, most trainers and most coaches don't even understand this concept either. You need to train in an efficient way that boosts your metabolism and you need to eat clean. Okay, so here's the disconnect. Mary, your body has adapted to your training. You need to get the burn zone.
But here's the other thing, is that we focus so much on movement when we're looking to lose weight.
Yes.
But movement is a small fraction of what ends up being the external manifestation of, right, the outward, what your body looks like. Basically, what you eat has a bigger effect on what you look like and how much body fat you have. So, even if, let's take the example of when I really couldn't work out for like almost a year. My body composition changed a little bit simply because I couldn't lift. So yes, it does have an impact. However, I didn't gain any weight.
Your body composition changed because you lost muscle, not because you gained fat.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't gain any weight. I just got smaller and a little softer because I couldn't lift. So yes, movement has something to do with it, but if we're looking at, I think that you need to schedule a 1-hour strategy session with Sarit. That's really what I think. Because I think that the nutrition part needs to be looked at, or you need to join the Inner Circle Ultimate Transformation Academy. Because if you've been stagnant for 3 weeks, for one, I would have checked into that a week or two ago. But better late than never. And, I think that nutrition, I know 100% that nutrition is going to have a bigger impact on you than the movement. Now, people think that if I'm stuck, I must move more and eat less. Move more, eat less, move more, eat less. And then it's like you're literally burning the candle at both ends. Like how much less can you keep eating and how much more can you keep moving? So then you find yourself in this position where you're doing, so much cardio or exercise or whatever, and you feel like you're trying to make up for anything extra that you eat, but you can't not eat because you're freaking starving. So then it goes back to, was it Regina who was at, no, who was asking about, was it Regina who was asking about the food and feeling hungry and that, or was it the one before that? And
Regina
it
asked
doesn't,
about the snack.
It doesn't, yeah. So this comes then down to the quality of the food that you're eating, because you won't be hungry if you're eating enough food of the right quality.
Yeah.
So it's time to clean up your nutrition a bit more. Movement, I'll tell you, you could do the rise above again. You could do the burn zone, you could do the burn zone 2, and you're only going to get so far with movement. It doesn't matter.
With training alone, you're only going to get so far. How many, and I want to give you guys an example so you have a good understanding. How many of you guys know somebody, right, could be even like a pretty advanced athlete? Like somebody who's really strong. From an athletic standpoint, they're very advanced. However, they look
like they're not.
That's because it doesn't matter how much you train or how well you train. If your nutrition is not in alignment with your training, you're cutting yourself short because you're only going 20% in. And that's why, like our clients, for example, you know, when they get injured, they still make progress. Even if they can't train, because their nutrition is on point.
We have some people in the inner circle right now who have even injuries, in the Transformation Academy, who have injuries, but you can still make progress. If I didn't work out consistently for an entire year and I didn't gain any weight, that is the testimony of good nutritional habits.
Yep.
And after my surgery, all I wanted to eat was cereal because the medication made me feel like garbage.
That's true.
And all I wanted to eat was cereal. But because I have had such good habits for enough duration of time, I was able to keep my body fat down without making a tremendous effort, really. I had to make adjustments because if I'm not moving as much, that means I don't need to consume as much. But if you don't have those habits in place and you get injured, game over.
Yep, and that's why you hear so many people.
Yes.
I was so fit until I got injured.
Or you get scared, shredded Novik. I don't think she's here right now because she's recovering from a surgery. But it was one of those, right? Like, oh, I'm afraid to stop working out because if I do, I'm gonna gain weight. That's shouldn't be your concern.
Yeah.
If that is your concern, you need to fix your habits nutritionally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jerry, I need you to click on the link that Tammy posted in the group page and ask that question because it's a great question. But all the Q&A days, we want, like, if you guys have questions, it's really amazing and we want to answer them. But there is a link that we put into the group page where you can click and just submit the form. It says your name, where you're from, what's your question, and type it in there, or even just copy paste what you just put, so that those come in the order that we get them, and then we'll be able to answer them every Tuesday on these calls.
Yep.
We normally get to like, the last couple weeks we've gotten to like between 3 and 5 questions. 4 and 5 questions.
You guys, just so you know, for as long as you ask the question, it will be answered. Now, it might not be answered, you know, during that given week. And that's why we say, like, ask your question as soon as you think about it, because it's first come, first serve.
Maybe we can find a nice place to put it that's really convenient. So if you have a question, you just know, I go here and I just click that.
I will mark it as an announcement. So it's always up top.
Great. So if you guys have a question, go directly to the Erin Sarit page and look through the announcements, which will remain at the top. You might have to click see more or whatever, but go in there, click the link, submit your question. It's going to take you like maybe 2 minutes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, click on the link that we will add below if you have any more questions, so that you can place your question. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, 3, 2, One, do it now. Hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on Facebook, then you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will drop the link for that too.
Guys, we're on the road to 10K subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
I believe we're at like 1,350 or something like that.
Whoa, really? We were at 1280 the other day when I saw it. That's awesome.
Well, it's because of beautiful people like you subscribing to our channel.
Amazing, you guys. So just a quick reminder that we will be traveling early on Thursday morning. So this Thursday and this Friday, we will not be having calls. Okay, so our relationship conversation and guest interview will not be happening this week. Our last conversation for this week will be tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to talk about your money game. Because when you get your relationship right with money, you give yourself permission to gain financial freedom. And as far as I'm concerned, each and every one of y'all should want financial freedom.
Each and every one of y'all deserve it.
You only deserve it if you make it a commitment.
And putting it in their heads that they deserve it so they believe that they deserve it.
I love it.
Gosh, I didn't get my drift.
Sorry for
That's
the
okay.
problems once again.
That's okay. So, guys, like Sarit said, tomorrow is our last live of this week because we will be not our last live, sorry, our last scheduled, planned, normal time live because we will be traveling. I wanted you to go up with your arm. I felt like I was like this. Okay, go back. Okay, so the way that you will know how you can follow us and see us while we are on our travels in Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains. Is that?
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains.
So, you will need to turn on your notifications on Facebook for when we go live. So do that now.
Crystal, I like what you just wrote. Deserving versus worthiness. Two things that are very similar. Amen.
So we will be going live while we're away. We want to share things with you, show you what's going on. Some epic shit might happen. So turn your notifications on.
Bye, guys.
See you tomorrow.